Oh, sorry.
Sorry about my fault.
Thanks, Mike. Anyway,
Good morning,
Heathlands,
and welcome to week 60 of Heathlands Home Extended Podcast. So far this week we've had
Nick's exercise session on Monday at 11:15.
It's all going on. Live with Helen Tuck was on Monday at 1 p.m. This week making handsome bunting.
Ooh. Just making a reference to it, that's all. Doing bunting.
So on
So anyway, on Tuesday we had
Sports Fanatics with Jackie at 1:30.
This week, Jackie won Connor's sports quiz. As a one-off special, Connor had ridden the sports quiz himself this week.
Wow, that's very clever. Well done, you two, Connor and Jackie. Well done.
Well done to you guys. So coming up next today, after us at Heathlands at Home will be
live lunch from 12 p.m. to 12:45 p.m.
Spiff's themed bingo is today at 1.
And today's theme is bear with me a second. Bug bingo.
I know it's a bug's life, isn't it?
Yeah, I bet you're all buzzing with the excitement out there.
But there's just one thing I've got to make clear to you, Sarah. Look, I know it's a rock. Don't you think I know a rock when I see a rock? I spend a lot of time around rocks.
You're weird, but I like you.
You. For those of you who get the reference, just let us know in the comments.
So subscribe to Disney Plus to get it.
So join Spiff, us, and everyone in the Purple Bubble for the ever popular Bug Bingo. I didn't even know it was popular.
Coming up right now, we have
a guest presenter with a craft to share with you guys.
So far, we have had videos from myself, Mark, Helen Tuck, Helen Walsh, and Susan.
Today we have a video from one of these people. Who can it be this time?
Now, I don't know about you, but however careful I am, I always end up with odd socks. Pairs go into the washing machine, single socks come out. What happens to the other one? Nobody knows. As it's one of those mysteries that we're unlikely to solve, I thought I'd come up with a way of using these unloved, lonely single socks. And what I thought would be fun was to show you how to make little rabbits out of them. So this is from another odd sock, a pink one. It's got a little pom-pom tail and buttons for eyes. It's a nice and simple craft. There's not very much sewing, and if you wanted to, you could even glue the eyes on rather than sew them if you're not that keen on sewing. So let's have a quick look at what we're going to need. To make your bunny, you're going to need a sock, something to stuff your sock with. I'm using toy stuffing here, but you can use pretty much anything. Scraps of fabric, cotton wool, other lonely socks. You could even use something like rice. Just be very careful when you're pouring it into the sock that it doesn't go everywhere. You'll need a bit of ribbon to tie the head into shape and to give him a nice bow. Some buttons for eyes and nose. A little pom-pom for a tail. If you haven't got a pom-pom like this, you can make one. We've got some tutorials up on the Heathlands at Home site. You'll need your scissors and your needle and thread. So, let's get making. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to stuff the sock to make the bunny shape. And if you have a little look, because they're made to fit your feet. This bit is going to become the head. These are going to become the ears, and this bit will be the body. So when you're stuffing it, you probably want to put more in the body than you do in the head. And all I'm going to do is take some handfuls of this and stick it into the sock. There we go, right down to the end. And another bit to make the rest of the body. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. You can see where it's starting to fill out the heel bit. That's going to make a good head shape. A little bit more down into the body section. There we go. So we're starting to see our creature come together. Next up, we're going to make the ears. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this section down the middle. I'm not going to cut right to the heel. I'm going to cut about 2/3 of the way along here. So on this pattern of socks, that's between these two deer heads. So I'm going to cut straight down there. So make sure your sock's lying nice and flat. And then cut about 2/3 of the way down. And that's going to give you your 2 ears. And what we're going to do is tie those bits in a knot, like so. And now our rabbit has ears. Now, if you wanted to, what you could do is you could round this bit off so it's more of an ear shape. So with the scissors, just going to trim that so it looks a bit more like an ear. There we go. So our bunny's starting to take shape. Next off, we're going to add a bit more definition to the head and the body. So we're going to take our piece of ribbon and we're going to tie it around the gap. So where the heel starts making the head, we're going to tie that in a nice bow to give definition between the head and the body. And I'm going to pull it quite tight to give it a good neck shape. And I'm just tying that in a bow like you would with your shoelaces. If you haven't got any ribbon, you could use a bit of string for this, or even an elastic band. Anything that's going to just help define those 2 areas. And there we go. So my bunny now has ears and a bow. Next off, we're going to add the features. So we're going to give Bunny a nose and eyes. So I'm just using ordinary sewing thread for this. And if you really don't like sewing, you could glue your buttons on for this bit. But it's really not a difficult job sewing them on. So if you've got a little bit of time and a couple of buttons, I would give it a go. So I'm going to start with the nose, and I want that at the tip of the head. So I'm just going to anchor my thread in there by making a couple of little stitches. Going to take my little pink button for the nose. There we go. And this has got 4 holes, this button, so I'm going to sew it in a little cross shape. So I'm sewing diagonally across 2. I'm going to do another stitch in the same place to make sure it's nice and strong. And I'm going to go through the other 2 holes to make the little cross. Doesn't matter too much because this is just for decoration, but I don't want his nose to fall off. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle through the head out to where I want the eye to be so that I don't have to start another piece of thread. But there's the nose sewn on with a little cross, and this is where my eye is going to go. So same as before, I'm going to make sure it's in the right place, make sure that I'm happy with where that's sitting, go from one hole into another, do it going diagonally to make little crosses on this one. And when I've done 2 stitches in that spot, I'm going to make the other half of the little cross. Again, another stitch just to make sure it's really secure. And again, I'm going to carefully take my needle through the head so that it comes out where I want the other eye to be. And that just saves me having to tie lots of knots. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can use a separate bit of thread for each button. That's absolutely fine. There we go, I've managed to go through the wrong hole on this one, so I'm doing 2 straight stitches instead of a cross stitch on this. And that's fine. And you can see also that I haven't got matching buttons for the eyes. I've got different buttons because I think that'll give him a bit of character. There we go, so that's the first eye that I sewed on. And there's the second eye. So you can see my little bunny starting to take shape. And to finish the thread off on the buttons, I'm going to wrap it round underneath a couple of times. And then I'm going to make some tiny stitches just to make sure the thread doesn't come undone. 1, 2, 3. Take the needle back into the fabric. And careful not to snip the rabbit, just the thread. There we go, and then the M will disappear and be safely locked inside. So our bunny's looking pretty cool. He's got ears and a face, but we do know that they've got fluffy little tails, generally rabbits. So with the rest of my thread, I'm going to go to the other end of the rabbit. And again, I'm going to anchor my thread with a few little stitches. You can use a knot if you prefer, that's fine. And I'm going to stitch on this fluffy pom-pom that I found because I think that'll make rather a nice little bunny tail. So I've gone right through the pom-pom. And as I say, you could use another button for this. You could make a pom-pom. You could use another bit of fabric. You could even, if you wanted to, make a little lump of stuffing and tie off a little tail like that if you wanted to. I'm just doing my 1, 2, 3 small stitches to anchor my thread. Take it back through there so that it gets lost in the middle. Carefully trim it off, not trimming the bunny. And there we have one rather sweet little bunny. So he's got his button eyes and nose, flopsy ears, a little bow and a little pom-pom for a tail. So have a look in your sock drawer, see if there's any socks that you'd like to turn into little bunnies, and let's see if we can make a Heathlands flock of Easter bunnies. Whatever you do, have fun and don't forget to show us how you get on.
As you've seen this week, we've had Helen Walsh showing you how to make a sock bunny.
Ooh. It's very fancy, wasn't it?
They're very fancy. Button eyes are always cute though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So what and who will have next week? I wonder.
Still to come this week we have.
We have Quiz of the Week results on Thursday at 1. Last week, the Blue Bubble team won. So well done to you, Blue Bubble. Hopefully you follow the rules on that.
Do you want to go over them again?
Okay, I might as well just go over the rules again. So remember, no Googling, no cheating. Be honest with the answers. When you put an answer down, you can't change it. And you can only put down one answer. Just one. Not 2, not 3, not
multiple.
Not 10.
Not dozen.
Just one. So I was thinking for punishments, I'm going to come up with 2 and then Sarah's going to come up with 2. So my punishments will be made to eat a spoonful of cinnamon.
Like a big old spoonful.
And filling someone's trousers with ice cubes. What? It's only fair.
Um,
How about you?
maybe drink a whole shot of hot sauce
Ooh.
and maybe either poked or spanked with a big old stick.
Our punishments are harsh, but fair.
Yeah, so join Helen on Thursday to see who this week's winners are. Maybe it'll be you. Or you.
Oh, you.
Or you.
Oh, you.
Or
Oh,
you.
you. Oh, you. Oh, you.
Or you. Or you. You. Definitely you. Maybe not you, but you.
So anyway, also on Thursday we have signing with Paula at 11. I just said Thursday already.
Heathlands Book Club with Jeanette and Susan is on Thursday too.
On Friday, to start the day, we have Maria's workout at 10:30.
What just happened?
He just tripped.
Oh. Oh yeah, Heathlands live with Helen and Mark at 1:30.
Featuring the ever popular Art Showcase Extreme to the max, featuring all the gift gab for the week of Heathlands, maybe Heathlands Habitat, and let's not forget
The Great British Road Off.
Great British Road Off.
Which now brings us to the main event of our Heathlands at Home broadcast.
The most popular part of the Heathlands at Home broadcast.
We have another new brilliant book to read to you.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna ask you this week. I'm definitely reading this time.
Or do you want me to do the impression that's on the title?
You can do the impression if you want, but
If you turn around, then
so
no.
anyway, today's book is
If you get the reference, of course.
There's a Snake in My School.
There's a snake in my school. Anybody get the reference? Oh dear, I thought that was something else.
Well, what do you think it was?
It's just an apple. It's just an apple.
Sarah.
Not an iPhone, by the way. Too expensive.
Mr. Bright had told all the children in his class it was Bring Your Pet to School Day. Everyone rushed into the playground to meet the animals. There was a stupidly cute gerbil, a tiny goldfish, a fat cat, a 100-year-old tortoise, and a tall dog.
Very tall dog. Oh.
Last to arrive, as usual, was a little girl called Miranda. She was riding on the back of an enormous, slivery snake. Meet Penelope, my pet python, announced Miranda. On seeing the snake, the other children screamed, "Ah!"
Nice.
Miranda loved being different. She always stood out at school with her individual take on school uniform, her cartwheels down the corridors, her funny answers in class. What ended in 1945? 1944?
Was that for real? Oh.
A python is a rather unusual pet, but Miranda and Penelope had so much fun playing together. For the little girl, the snake would pretend to be a scarf, a hula hoop, a balloon, a telescope, a trombone, And sometimes when they were both feeling particularly mischievous, a third arm. Ooh. Come and give her a tickle, encouraged Miranda, but the other children were too scared. Penelope was a python after all, and pythons eat people. All the pets were frightened too. The goldfish tried to hide behind some water. The large dog yanked on his lead, sending his tiny owner flying.
Whoop.
The tortoise made a rather slow run for it. The fat cat just carried on napping. The gerbil flashed her gnashes and did not look so cute anymore. Miranda slid down her snake. The little girl tickled her python under the chin and the snake smiled. See? She's very friendly. Soon everyone was gathered around to marvel at Penelope. The python loved the attention and made a climbing frame for children to climb on, steps for them to step on, and a fireman's pole for them to slide back down. Excuse me.
Mark, manners. We're live.
Pardon. People even helped the children. Penelope even helped the children learn their numbers. Although she could only go up to 9, 1 plus 8 equals 9. This was turning into the best day of school ever, but then Miss Bloat, the headmistress, thundered into the playground. "There's a snake in my school!" she shouted.
She looks like the Joker.
Miss Bloat didn't like animals much, or children. "It's bring your pet to school day," spluttered Mr. Bright. "And Penelope is my pet," said Miranda. "Miranda, I should have known you would have to be different. A snake is not a pet. It's a menace," snapped Miss Bloat.
Why shouldn't you call it Dennis if it's a menace?
Ah. Mr. Bright, all these filthy beasts are confiscated. All the girls and boys shouted, "No! No!"
No.
as the headmistress stuffed their pets into the lost property cupboard.
If she's frightened of them, how come she's not afraid to touch them?
I don't know, logic. Except for Penelope the snake, Miss Bloat had other ideas for her. "This disgusting thing is coming with me," bellowed the headmistress. With that, she dragged the poor python along the corridor to her office. "Where are you going to put Penelope?" asked Miranda. "In the bin." "No!" Miss Bloat crammed the snake into a bin and slammed the lid shut. Then she poked herself down on top so the python couldn't escape. The bin rattled and rattled, but Penelope was trapped. "A snake in my school indeed. Get back to your lesson." Sorry. Downstairs in the classroom, tears rolled down Miranda's cheeks. All the children were sad to have had their pets taken away, but no one was sadder than Miranda. The little girl feared she would never see Penelope again. At the end of the day, Miranda dashed upstairs to Miss Bloat's office to try and make her change her mind. There was no answer, so slowly Miranda pushed the door open, only to see Penelope sitting in Mistress's chair. Miranda ran towards her pet and gave her a humongous hug. Miss Bloat was nowhere to be seen, so the girl grabbed the key on the desk, ran to the lost property cupboard as fast as she could, and unlocked it. The animals were overjoyed to be set free. Whoosh! Then Miranda and all the pets slid down Penelope's back into the playground. The children shouted, "Hooray!"
Penelope ate him. I mean, the headmistress.
Penelope entertained everybody again. She made a seesaw for them to seesaw on,
A wheel.
a wheel for them to roll in, a swing for them to swing on, and a skipping rope to skip with. Penelope even helped some of the younger children with the alphabet, although it was hard to do an X. As for Miss...
They look like other animals from yeah, that's pretty much from the other David Walliams books. That's very good.
As for Miss Bloat, she had completely disappeared, so Mr. Bright was made headmaster. Now the children were allowed to bring in all their favourite animals whenever they wanted. The school became home to every sort of fantastic creature. A gorilla, an elephant, an ostrich,
How amusing.
a giraffe, a tiger, a kangaroo, a crocodile, a grizzly bear, and even a colony of penguins. But the star attraction was always Penelope. Though Miranda had noticed there was something different about her python, there was a bulge. A big bulge in the snake's tummy. A bulge in the shape of Miss Bloat. But the little girl thought it best not to say anything. Let me out! Oh,
They have it.
well, the moral of the story is, don't be a meanie to pythons, or you'll get eaten.
It's actually quite true.
So we are back again the same time next week with another awesome book to read to you guys.
Have a safe rest of your week and stay positive and I'm hoping 2022 goes great for you and we'll see you again soon. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.